Hello, everyone. Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into your child's bustling home, maybe with a warm apple pie in your hands, and felt like a ghost? You're there, but you're completely invisible. It's a feeling so many of us know but never speak about. That sense of being overlooked. It's more than just a momentary sadness. As a doctor, I can tell you that this chronic emotional pain, this feeling of being dismissed, has a real physical impact. It's a silent stressor that I've seen contribute to everything from high blood pressure to sleepless nights. And here's the nightmare that no one talks about. Recent studies in geriatric psychology have shown that this kind of persistent loneliness can increase the risk of cognitive decline by a truly shocking amount. It silently wears down your health in ways you can't see, until it's too late. Now, after more than 30 years of family practice, I'm going to tell you something that might sound harsh, but it's one of the most important pieces of advice I can give. For the sake of your own health and dignity, sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to stop visiting your children. I'm not talking about theory. I'm talking about reality. Just last year, a wonderful man we'll call Robert, a retired school principal, came to me with recurring headaches and anxiety. We ran every test in the book. All clear. Finally, he admitted the episodes always happened on Sunday nights. Why? Because every Sunday afternoon, he would visit his son's family and spend 3 hours feeling completely ignored. His body was reacting to a pain his heart was trying to hide. Robert's story is not unique. And the good news is, there is a way to navigate this without bitterness or cutting your family off forever. In this video, we are going to walk through a gentle, powerful plan to protect your peace and reclaim your joy. Everything I'm sharing isn't just opinion. It's based on decades of real conversations with hundreds of patients, just like you. And please, make sure you stay with me until the very end. The last point we'll discuss is crucial. It's about what to do if and when your children do come around with a change of heart. Handling that moment correctly can redefine your relationship for the better. Forever. So before we dive in, I truly want to know how many of us have faced this. If what I just described feels familiar, if you've ever felt that ache of being unseen, please take a moment to comment a simple yes below. It shows me you understand, and it shows others in our community that they are not alone. Okay, let's get started. Alright, now we'll move into what I call the 5 truths for protecting your peace in your golden years. We're going to go through these one by one, and I encourage you to see which ones speak to you the most. Let's begin with the first and most foundational one. Truth number 1. Give a name to the pain. It's the ache of invisibility. The first mistake so many of us make is that we try to explain away our own feelings. We leave our kid's house feeling small, unheard, and a little bit empty, and we immediately start making excuses for them in our own heads. We tell ourselves, "Oh, I'm just being too sensitive," or, "Well, they're just so busy with the kids and their jobs, it's understandable." It's a subtle but damaging habit of self-dismissal, where we invalidate our own emotional reality before we even give it a name. We suffer in silence because we've convinced ourselves that our suffering is unreasonable. But let's look at what's really happening from a psychological standpoint. For decades, you were the center of your children's universe. You were the sun in their solar system. You were the CEO of the family, the head chef, the nurse, the chief problem solver, the keeper of schedules. Your role was vital, necessary, and clearly defined. And now, that role has fundamentally changed. You've been demoted without notice. You've become a guest in a home you helped build, or worse, an item on a to-do list, sandwiched between soccer practice and a conference call. This isn't just a change in routine, it's a profound loss of identity. And here's the crucial part that so many people misunderstand, especially our own children. As we get older, and our other social roles begin to fade away, our careers end, our social circles may become smaller, our need for deep, meaningful family connection doesn't shrink. It actually grows. That connection becomes a primary source of purpose and value. So when it's not there, the void it leaves feels immense. This is why it becomes so deeply painful. It's not that you're becoming needy. It's that a fundamental human need is no longer being met in the place you most expect it. This ache of invisibility isn't just a thought. It manifests in your body and your daily life. It's that quiet, heavy feeling in your chest as you drive home from a family visit. It's looking at your phone, wanting to call them, but hesitating because you feel like you might be bothering them. It's a slow fading of your own color. A gradual loss of interest in hobbies because the joy feels harder to find when you feel disconnected. This is exactly what my patient Robert, who I mentioned earlier, was going through. He adored his grandchildren. He truly did. But he'd sit there on the sofa and watch them glued to their iPads, barely acknowledging his presence. He told me one day, his voice cracking just a little, "Doc, I felt like a piece of old furniture. They talk around me, they move around me, but they don't see me." That feeling, right there, that is a quiet kind of heartbreak, and it is real. So, what's the first step? What is the prescription? It's not about confronting them. It's not about causing a scene. The first step is simple, profound, and utterly private. Tonight, or right now if you can, I want you to look yourself in the mirror, look directly into your own eyes, and give yourself permission to feel what you feel. Say the words out loud, "It's okay that I feel hurt by this. My feelings are valid." You stop being the judge who dismisses your own case and instead become the compassionate friend who finally listens. You give the pain a name, the ache of invisibility, and in doing so, you take back your power. This is a powerful first step, a declaration of self-respect. And if you agree, if you believe that your own feelings are valid, I'd be honored if you would comment the word valid below. It's a way of raising your hand and saying, "I see myself and I matter." Now, once you've validated your own feelings, you'll likely run into the next major hurdle. It's a big one, rooted in decades of conditioning. Truth number 2. Release the guilt. Your presence is a gift, not an obligation. So many of us were raised with the belief that family is everything. It's a beautiful sentiment, but over time, we've twisted it to mean that we must show up no matter what, even at our own emotional expense. We feel an immense, crushing guilt at the very thought of saying no to a holiday dinner, a birthday party, or a Sunday visit, even if we know from past experience that it will drain us and leave us feeling lonelier than when we arrived. We feel that our attendance is mandatory, a duty we must perform to prove our love. This sense of obligation is a trap, and it keeps us stuck in a cycle of hurt. Let me explain this with a concept I call emotional erosion. Think of your self-esteem and your spirit like a shoreline. Every time you willingly place yourself in a situation where your presence is tolerated rather than celebrated, where you are ignored or dismissed, it's like a small wave crashing against that shore. One wave doesn't do much damage. But when those waves come again, and again, week after week, year after year, your shoreline begins to erode. Your sense of self-worth gets worn down, little by little, until you feel diminished and fragile. Protecting your spirit means you have to stop volunteering for the emotional erosion. This is especially difficult because our generation was built on sacrifice. We sacrificed our time, our energy, and sometimes our own dreams for our children. It's deeply ingrained in us. In contrast, our children were raised in a culture that increasingly emphasizes independence and the nuclear family. This isn't a judgment, it's just a reality. This cultural gap creates a painful tension. We keep showing up with a heart full of sacrifice, and they accept our presence as a given, not as the precious gift it truly is. I had another patient, a lovely woman we'll call Eleanor. For years, she forced herself to go to every single one of her grandson's soccer games. She wasn't always invited directly. She just knew the schedule and showed up, because she believed that's what a good grandmother does. She'd sit alone on the cold bleachers, rain or shine, wave from a distance, and then leave without much more than a quick "Hi, Grandma," as they rushed to the car. She told me she did it to stay connected, but when we talked honestly, she admitted it made her feel more disconnected than ever. She was performing a duty, not enjoying a relationship. So, here is your prescription for this. It's a practical exercise in releasing the guilt. I want you to give yourself permission to say no, just once. Look at your calendar. Choose one upcoming event or a casual get-together that you are already dreading. Just one. Then, politely decline. You don't need a long, dramatic excuse. A simple, warm, and honest, "You know, I won't be able to make it this time, but I'm sending all my love and hope you have a wonderful time," is more than enough. Notice the feeling that comes with this. It might be scary at first, but underneath the fear, you will likely feel a sense of lightness, a flicker of freedom. This is you taking back control. This is you starting to treat your own presence with the value it deserves. Your presence is a gift, and gifts are meant to be given freely and joyfully, not paid like a tax of obligation. Alright, this leads us directly to our next truth. Once you've decided to protect your presence, you need the tools to do it effectively. This is often the hardest part for people who have spent a lifetime giving. Truth number 3. Build your fences. Boundaries are an act of self-love. Many people hear the word boundaries, and they immediately think of walls. They imagine something cold, high, and impenetrable. They fear that setting a boundary is a hostile, punishing act that will push their children away forever, confirming their deepest fear of being abandoned. But as a doctor, I want to offer you a different way to look at it. I want you to stop thinking of boundaries as walls, and start thinking of them as fences, with gates. In medicine, we know that every healthy cell in your body has a membrane. This membrane is brilliant. It's not a solid wall. It's selectively permeable. It allows nutrients, water, and good things to come in, while actively keeping toxins, viruses, and harmful things out. It protects the life within the cell. Emotional boundaries work the exact same way. They are not walls designed to keep everyone. They are healthy, flexible membranes that protect your spirit. They allow you to let love, respect, and connection in, while keeping indifference, disrespect, and emotional exhaustion out. The core reason this is so challenging is that for most of your life as a parent, your boundaries were designed to be completely open. Your children needed you 24/7, and you gave them unlimited access to your time, your energy, and your heart. That was a necessary and beautiful part of raising them. But now, the season has changed. They are self-sufficient adults. Continuing to live with no boundaries is no longer healthy for you. It's like leaving the front door of your house wide open all day and night. You wouldn't do that. You need to start locking the door, not because you hate the world, but because you value what's inside. Let's go back to Eleanor, the grandmother from the soccer games. After our talk, she took that first step of saying no. She missed 2 games in a row. She was terrified. She thought her daughter would be angry or, even worse, wouldn't notice at all. But then something amazing happened. After the second missed game, her daughter called. Her tone wasn't angry, it was concerned. She asked, "Mom, we missed you at the game on Saturday. Is everything okay?" For the first time in years, Eleanor's absence was felt. Her quiet withdrawal created a space where her presence could finally be valued again, not just assumed. Her fence worked. It made her daughter pause and walk to the gate. So, how do you start building these fences? You start small. The solution is not a dramatic announcement. Please do not send a text saying, "I am now setting boundaries." Instead, you do it through your actions. If a typical visit lasts 4 hours and leaves you drained, decide beforehand that you will only stay for 1 hour. When that hour is up, you stand up with a warm smile and say, "This was so lovely. I have to get going now, but I'll talk to you soon." And then you leave. Stop being the first one to call every single time. Wait a little longer between your texts. Let a little bit of silence do the talking for you. These are not punishments. They are gentle, powerful lessons in how you deserve to be treated. They are you, quietly and lovingly, teaching the world how to honor you by first honoring yourself. This can be a tough one, but it's so powerful. If you believe in the power of healthy boundaries, take a moment and comment the word boundaries below. It's a quiet promise to yourself to start building your fence. This brings us to a very important, and often scary, question. If you start building these fences and pulling back a little, what do you do with that new space and time? This is where the real magic happens. Truth number 4. Replant your garden. Pour your energy where it will grow. The biggest fear that holds people back from setting boundaries is the thought, if I pull back from my kids, what's left? My life will be empty. For many, their entire social and emotional life has been cultivated in the garden of their children's lives. The idea of stepping out of that garden feels like stepping into a barren wasteland. This void can feel absolutely terrifying. But I'm here to tell you that this void isn't an ending. It's an opportunity. It's an empty plot of fertile soil waiting for you to plant something new, something that is entirely for you. There's a remarkable concept in neuroscience called neuroplasticity. In simple terms, it means that your brain's ability to form new connections, learn new things, and find new sources of joy never expires. Your brain is not set in stone. When you stop focusing all of your mental and emotional energy on one path that isn't bringing you fulfillment, like waiting for a call that doesn't come, your brain is freed up to forge new, rewarding pathways. You can, quite literally, rewire your brain for happiness outside of your role as a parent. This isn't just a theory. It's a practice I have seen transform my patients' lives. Remember Robert, the retired principal with the stress headaches? After he made the difficult decision to stop his stressful Sunday visits, he felt that void immediately. Sunday afternoons felt long and quiet. But instead of sitting in the silence, he took a brave step. He had seen a flyer for a local senior walking group that met on Sunday mornings at a nearby park. He forced himself to go. At first, it was awkward. But soon, he started talking to the other walkers. He discovered shared stories, shared laughter. Now, his Sunday is the highlight of his week. He made new friends, his headaches are completely gone, and his wife told me he laughs more than he has in years. He didn't just remove a negative from his life. He courageously added a positive. He replanted his garden. The role of family is important, of course. But it is not meant to be the only plant in your garden. A healthy, thriving garden has variety. It has different flowers, different vegetables, different sources of nourishment and beauty. Relying on only one source for your emotional well-being is risky. If that one source fails, everything withers. So here is your very practical, very joyful prescription for this week. I want you to do one thing that is just for you. One thing you used to love but stopped doing, or something you've always been curious about. What is it? Is it picking up that paintbrush or those knitting needles that have been gathering dust? Is it finally going to the public library and getting a library card? Is it joining the local community garden, even just to volunteer for an hour? Is it calling an old friend you haven't spoken to in years? I want you to take all that incredible love, all that focused attention and energy that you have, and pour it into soil that is fertile and waiting for you. This is not selfish. This is self-preservation. This is the act of cultivating a life so full and beautiful that you become a source of your own joy, rather than a seeker of it in others. And this brings us to the final, and perhaps most important, truth. This is the one I asked you to wait for. What happens when your new garden starts to bloom? What happens when your fences do their job, and your children notice? Truth number 5. Open the door, don't chase. How to welcome a healthy return. So you've started this journey. You're validating your feelings, you're releasing the guilt, you're building your fences, and you're replanting your garden. You're starting to feel more centered, more peaceful. Then, one day, the phone rings. It's your son or daughter. They say, "Hey, we haven't seen you in a while. We miss you. Is everything okay?" Or maybe, "We'd love for you to come over for dinner on Friday, just to catch up." This is the critical moment. The immediate temptation for so many of us is to feel a wave of desperate relief and immediately fall back into the old patterns. To say, "Yes, of course," and drop everything, reverting to the person who is just waiting by the phone. This is a mistake. Let's talk about the psychology here. There is a profound difference between approaching a relationship from a place of neediness versus a place of openness. When you were chasing their affection, you were coming from neediness. Your cup was empty, and you were hoping they would fill it. But now, because you've been replanting your garden, your cup is starting to fill up from other sources. So when they reach out, you can respond from a place of openness. You are no longer a beggar hoping for scraps. You are a whole person, open to sharing your time with them. When you approach them from this place of fullness, the entire dynamic of power and respect shifts in your favor. I saw this beautifully with Robert. After about a month of him not initiating his Sunday visits, his son called him on a Wednesday night. He said, "Dad, we missed having you over. Can we plan a real visit soon where we can just turn off the TV and talk?" In the past, Robert would have felt a surge of validation and immediately agreed to anything. But this time, he was different. He was calmer. He was able to say with genuine warmth, "Son, I'd love that. I'm busy this weekend with my walking group, but how about we have lunch, just the two of us, next Tuesday?" Do you see the difference? He didn't drop everything. He didn't sound bitter. He simply treated his own time as valuable. He welcomed his son back, but he did it by opening the gate to his garden, not by abandoning it to run back to theirs. So, here is your final, crucial piece of advice. If and when they reach out with what feels like genuine care and interest, welcome it with warmth and love. Be open. Be gracious. But do not drop everything. Do not cancel your plans with your friends, your book club, or your art class. Do not immediately revert to being available 24/7. Your response should be, "That sounds wonderful. Let me check my schedule." Fit them into your new, rich, and interesting life. Let them see, through your actions, not your words, that your world no longer revolves entirely around them, but that there is a beautiful, honored, and very special place for them within it. This is how you build a new relationship, one based not on old obligations and guilt, but on mutual, genuine respect between two whole, independent adults. And that kind of connection is the one you've been waiting for all along. So as we come to the end of our time together, let's go back to the beginning. Let's talk about my patient, Robert. What happened to him? Today, Robert has a wonderful and completely new relationship with his son. The interesting thing is, they actually see each other less often now. But he tells me, with a genuine smile I hadn't seen in years, that their time together is 100 times more meaningful. When they have lunch, the phones are put away. When he visits, his son asks him questions and truly listens to the answers. There's no more tension, no more unspoken disappointment hanging in the air. Robert had to do the scariest thing a parent can do. He had to risk the relationship in order to save it. He protected his own peace, and in doing so, he ironically saved the very connection he cherished most. His story brings us to the simple, profound lesson at the heart of everything we've talked about today. Your worth was never ever defined by their attention. Your value does not rise and fall based on whether they call you back. You have already done the hard work. You stayed up through the fevers. You worked the extra shifts. You celebrated their victories and you nursed their heartbreaks. You gave them roots and you gave them wings. Now, it is your time to remember how to use your own. These golden chapters of your life are not meant for chasing love, but for living it on your own terms. Please, hear me on this. You are not the leftovers of their busy life. You are the main course of your own. And now, as we wrap up, we've explored 5 powerful truths that can truly transform this chapter of your life. But as your doctor and your friend, I know that knowledge is only powerful when we put it into action. So now, I have one important question for you. What is the one commitment you are making to yourself after watching this video today? It doesn't have to be something huge. It could be as simple as, this week, I will say no to one thing that drains me. Or, tomorrow, I will call that old friend I've been meaning to reach out to. It could even be, I will join that book club I've been thinking about. Please share your personal commitment in the comments below. This isn't just for me. It's a promise to yourself. And by sharing it, you might just give someone else reading these comments the courage to make their own promise. Let's inspire each other to take that first, brave step. And if you found real strength and clarity in our conversation today, please show your support by giving this video a like. It truly helps this message find its way to others who are feeling this same ache and might think they're all alone. To make sure you continue on this journey with us, and never miss another conversation full of life-changing wisdom, hit that subscribe button. It's more than just a click, it's you joining a community, a family of wise elders dedicated to living our very best lives together. Finally, think of just one person in your life. One friend, one family member, who needs to hear this message, who needs to be reminded of their own worth. Please, share this video with them. You never know. You might just be giving them the permission they need to finally find their own peace. Thank you for spending this time with me. Until next time, take care of your heart. It's carried so much. Now, it's time to let it rise.